Some of the other projects that Sewa work with are food, right? Food is one of the extreme needs when you have a natural disaster. You have two types of food that is required. Immediate cooked food, and then of course dry goods that would come after. So this was one of the needs that we identified. When you have a major flood, people can't come out of their homes. Sometimes you have all these sewers overflowing. It's not sanitary to cook and prepare meals in that space, but some people are just marooned and just have to stay there. And that is a reality that we have to deal with. So in order to mitigate that and to build capacity to do things like that, Sewa developed a program where we reach out to a homeless shelter and we provide a meal for that homeless shelter every month. So what Sewa does is that we invite a family to cook a meal. When they cook this meal, they understand the amounts that are required to cook for 60 to 100 people. They buy the boxes and they keep it in stock. They figure out how to transport the meal to the hospital. So if you have dal and rice, or you have a soup and you're going up a hill, all these things they learn to figure out because people have suggestions and all these kind of things. So you build capacity, how to create drier foods that is still tasty, understanding how long it takes to go from one area to the next. So the importance of labeling the time the food was prepared, so we know how much time we have to deliver it. So over the last 10 years, we have done we've had many volunteers that we could make a call and have 10 people produce 100 meals immediately. So that is 1,000 meals that will be available just by Sewa making a call if there's a natural disaster. And because we practice this every month, right, people have the materials that they require. So now, during the biggest floods that we had in 2018, Sewa TT was able to provide over 12,000 meals in 1 week, right, where people were marooned in their homes for almost a week. And we had volunteers that will be focused on, they have the big 4x4s and boats, and they would focus on carrying the food to the families that need them. And we had other families who were practicing before, right? They now knew how to cook and they would produce the food. So now we have a system that we could provide food at a moment's notice just by reaching out to our network that have been practicing every month. The other thing that we do is that when the flood goes down now and people would have had a lot of losses, right? Their focus is on rebuilding. Now, no amount of money given people could Sewa as an NGO can't give out such money to people, but there are people who want to help. So one of the things that they could do is help provide dry goods, which every family need, and the money that the family would have put towards dry goods, they could now put those resources towards rebuilding. So Sewa has developed a system where the people who want to help and who want to contribute, we don't have to drive and spend $20 gas to collect $100 or meet them in several places and have a lot of manpower wasted doing things like that. We've built relationships with all the major supermarket chains, and now when people go and do their regular shopping, they could put money towards that. And what Sewa does is actually give you more value than you put in. So if you put $100 into the supermarket, we would now consolidate all that money. So let's say 100 people put $100, that now becomes $10,000. We consolidate all of that and we go to the distributors, not just the supermarkets, but the distributors who give us deep discounts because they know what we are doing, and sometimes they give us some free products also. That helps us produce a real good value for money package. So a package that would normally cost retail $500 would probably cost Sewa TT $300 to $350. And that type of savings and value, it makes sure that the people who contribute get good value for the money. What we do now is we arrange volunteers to come together and we build these packages by the thousands. So every year for Shivratri, for Eid, for Christmas, we do something like this. And this is our way of practicing. So just like the clothes drive and the blood drives that we do, it goes, yes, we have to practice it to make sure that we build the capacity. But when you had the product now, you had to give it to somebody. You just can't leave it there. So we take the opportunity now to build that relationship with those people who are in need, and they get the product, whether it is clothes, whether it is the food packages, whether it's blood. Well, in the case of blood, that goes to the hospital and the hospital system. So Sewa TT have now worked out a system to bridge the gap between the people who want to help and the people who need, and also the volunteers who have time but not necessarily money, right? All to pull all of them together such that we could bring everybody together to fulfill the gap, to fulfill the need we have during a natural disaster.